So today I'm going to talk about the VAX Blade 32 Pro, which is a cordless and bagless vacuum cleaner with a 45-minute runtime. So I've tested this machine out for a few months now in order to give it some solid feedback, and first impressions are pretty good upon taking out of the box. You know, it looks the part, it's built well, it seems to be built quite stable, but I did notice the handle feels like it's bending sometimes in your hand when using it for a long period of time, and that can make you feel like you're going to break it if holding it at certain angles. But overall it's well structured and not really that heavy to hold. The device has two power settings, normal and boost mode, but I've always found that I've preferred it in boost mode because the normal setting just doesn't seem to pick up the crumbs as good. One of my biggest annoyances though while using this vacuum was the fact that it spits out debris all over the floor every time you switch it off. And I mean, the last thing you want to do after a long day is clean up and then clean up all over again. The lighting on the front of the device makes it easier to know what power you're at and which settings you're using, which is a really nice feature, and there's also a red light indicator to let you know when the battery is low. So as you can see, this vacuum comes with a lot of different attachments. It comes with crevice tool, brush tool, and another strange tool which I think is for cleaning tiled surfaces or something along those lines. I've not seen that tool before, so I'm not too sure. But all of the parts fit together really well. I mean, it's just literally a pop on and pop off type affair. You just push the button, out comes the pipe, and you can go straight for the brush head, or you know, you can put the crevice tools and whatnot straight into the VAX directly. The pipe is really well built. It's a nice sturdy pipe. Feels good in the hand. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going to break at all. And all of the attachments are pretty well built. I mean, the brush tool, it could be better. I've tried to use it a few times and it seems to move. Like when you're putting quite a bit of pressure down, it moves quite a lot, which isn't really that convenient when you're cleaning the car and whatnot. But I suppose it could be worse. On the plus though, the bristles are nice and firm, so that's a good sign. Then we've got the crevice tool, which is okay, but it's rather quite short, so it's pretty useless when you're trying to get down the sides of your car. It could do with being a lot longer. The actual brush head itself is pretty well built, but it does get a lot of hair trapped in it, and I mean, to get that out you have to unscrew it, get in there, and then, you know, cut it out or whatever. So that's a bit inconvenient that it's not easier to remove, but it's not the end of the world. Everything attaches as it should. Inside the vacuum, I'm going to show you the filter. Dust often gets trapped in this part here, which is a huge inconvenience. The filters can be removed, or should I say have to be removed after each use in order to keep the vacuum in powerful working order. I found the internals seem to clog up faster than you've had chance to give your property the once over, and can easily, you know, these parts can easily be lost in the bin. I've lost this sponge part before and I had to order a replacement because I didn't even know I was emptying it while I was in the dust cloud and all the madness of the dust going everywhere. So you've got to be careful when you're emptying it. Dust does clog up easily in this machine. It gets trapped ever so easily in the area where the dirt enters the chamber, and you'll find yourself having to put your hand in constantly to remove this dirt. If it's not removed every few minutes, you end up suffering a full build-up of thick dust from the chamber to the floor head, which obviously in turn decreases the suction rate of the vacuum. So all of the filters can obviously be removed and washed and whatnot, and just left to dry out in the sun. I've given them a wash a couple of times. They do get clogged up very easily though, so you'll have to bear this in mind. There's lots of little spongy parts and stuff which also have to be removed, otherwise they also suffer a massive dust blockage, and that just decreases the power tremendously. So you're always going to have to keep this sponge piece clean, in fact all the sponges clean, if you want a good suction rate on this VAX. I think it's pretty cool how you can attach the brush bar head directly to the vacuum and just use it that way. So the final verdict really, if you're after a lightweight vacuum that can give your property the once over, or your car seats the once over, then this is definitely the vacuum that you want to buy. But if you're after something a lot more powerful that can give your home a very deep clean and, you know, get right down in the crevices of your car, then maybe this isn't going to be the vacuum for you. I mean, I've tried and tested it, and I'd say it's a really good machine compared to some of the other cheaper models that I've seen. But in terms of ease of usage and, you know, stuff like that, general everyday use and whatnot, it can be quite complicated when you're dealing with emptying the machine and whatever else. So it's hard to tell until you use it yourself. But that's my verdict on this vacuum.